Alright, ladies and gentlemen, PHAINON of course did just recently release, so of course we have to go ahead and test him out to see just how strong he is for E0S0. Should you be pulling him as a free-to-play? Well, we will be finding that out today. On the first half, we will be going for a Mydei team using Castorice, Tribbie, Mydei, as well as Hyacine. And then on the second half, we do have PHAINON, Sunday, Bronya. My Bronya is actually E2, and then also an Aventurine. So, yeah, character builds will be at the end. All premium units here are E0S0. The only unit with Eidolons here is Bronya. And yeah, with that being said, let's just hop right into it. But real quick, if you guys want to pull PHAINON or any of the other Fate collab characters, then I have the perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up in your favorite games like Honkai or Genshin Impact and save up to 25%. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses Hoyoverse partner ads, so you can get the most affordable prices and enjoy all Hoyoverse top-up bonuses as well. And with the top-up bonus reset in 3.2's anniversary, this means that you can get double the generic shards with your first purchase on Lootbar. Transactions on Lootbar are also simple, safe and secure, as you only need to enter your UID and your region in order to get fast delivery. For example, if I want to buy the 3,280 generic shards, all I have to do is go down here, enter in my UID, as well as my server region, and then go to top up now, and they typically arrive in less than a minute, and you can get double for your first time purchase thanks to the anniversary. And creators like Raiden Shotgun, To That Time, and Mordex Tryharder are all also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have some very good reviews on Trustpilot, and I just use them myself so I can vouch for the authenticity, speed, and security. New users can also get an extra 10% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then, here we are on the first off with our Mydei team, of course, because, you know, I just love putting Castorice and Mydei together. Of course, I could have technically used Blade here with Castorice as well, that would be cool. However, there's not much wind weakness here, so, you know, I don't kind of want to show Blade in a bad light if they're not going to take too much wind damage from him. So yeah, I've decided to go for Mydei, but we definitely will be trying out Castorice with Blade as well as a Hyper Carry Blade. I actually think that's probably what I'm going to try next. Maybe I'll do Hyper Carry Jingly on the first half and then Hyper Carry Blade on the second half. Although of course they won't be in the same run because they basically use the same supports. So yeah, I think that could be a cool idea. But right now our focus is on, well, first of all clearing this, and then we get to move on to our PHAINON as well. But I mean, yeah, considering the fact that I feel like Castorice just got so many new team options right now as well, because technically you could use Jingli as a secondary DPS. Blade and Mydei are definitely better, but it's still an option. And then of course you can use RMC or Cypher as well. Also, one thing I should mention is that my builds aren't going to be incredible here because they are, first of all, Castorice is balanced around using RMC, and then Mydei is balanced around using Sunday. So they would both normally have over 100% crit rate, but in this situation they do not. So yeah, the damage numbers you're going to be seeing from them are slightly lower. So for example, we hit 557k there. I've seen our Castorice do over 1 million in this Memory of Chaos before, even at E0S0. Whereas our Mydei, I mean, 156k on a skill is still decent for him. Like I said, of course, the thing when you play double DPS is that their damage numbers won't be the same because they're both missing very valuable support probably. But on the bright side, the average DPS should be pretty damn high. 287k there into the 2 targets using Mydei's enhanced skill. Now we can go ahead and pop Castorice's Dragon. Unfortunately, the guy on the left has much more HP than the enemy on the right hand side, although I'm hoping maybe we can still clear in this cycle despite that, although to be fair I'm not all that sure about that. 125k there on the ult, very solid. I mean, we still do have some turns here. We get to refresh our Hyacine's ultimate as well, so that we are back to having our max HP buff. Well, luckily we don't need to use our skill on Tribbie. Okay, yeah, we should be able to 29 cycle this, especially after Dance procs. So Mydei can go again just in case. We do have a Neverwing ready, so if we need to use Neverwing, then we can. But okay, yeah, Mydei will be launching an enhanced skill here. This should take him out. Never mind, 154k. Well, on the bright side, you know, this entire team basically does damage. Hyacine's Eco will go, and then we can use the skill on Mydei. And then, okay, I did press the Neverwing just in case, but since we have all of our buffs up here, we get to use them on this start. Now, of course, it would be nice if all the smaller things spawned in. But, I mean, Hyacine's going next anyway, and she'll generate quite a bit of new buds, so just might as well. There we go, perfect. And now he will spawn in the true stings as well. Okay, Mydei is nearly down, but of course, as we all know, that is not a issue for Mydei. 178k there on the skill. The burst will heal him a bit, which generates a bit more new bud, as well as dealing 255k. You know, solid damage. And now off of this Castorice skill, we should be able to get our Neverwing, like so. 77k on this skill, not negligible damage, although not that much in the long term. But the main thing here, of course, is Neverwing's damage into 5 targets. We are hitting 585k, okay then. And then, oh, actually no, I think that was 4 targets instead, never mind. But either way, okay, unfortunately could not use our skill there on Hyacine because of course we did need the skill point for Tribbie. But we should be able to refresh her ult before Castorice goes. 190k there on the skill for Mydei into 329k. I think if we had Hyacine's ult, we'd be doing a bit more damage there, but it's better to prioritize Neverwing's damage than Mydei's, because although Mydei does provide a lot of damage, of course the big damage here is from our Neverwing. So let's just go ahead and then, actually no, you know what? I'm gonna wait to ult on Hyacine's turn, because then we will have better uptime on the ultimate. Oh, okay, Mydei actually there got us our Neverwing sooner, which, you know, much obliged. Anyway, now after we heal up, get our max HP buff, now we can pop our Neverwing, and I get the feeling this should clear this wave. Since we don't need the healing for Neverwing right now because he is up, I don't feel bad about using our basic attack, and it won't impact our energy as well because we extended our ult basically by 1 turn by ulting on Hyacine's turn, and now into 5 targets we are dealing 700k. And then thanks to all these explosions, the Trusting should go down. Never mind. Okay, we're gonna have to take one more Mydei turn in order to take it out, like so. Okay, perfect. Still in the 28th cycle, so we do have a fair bit to go. We do get our ult back up on Tribbie, so we can actually proc our dance after we take some of our actions here if we want to. 78%, 85. Okay, so after this Hyacine skill, we will definitely be getting our Neverwing once again. Just trigger dance because we're approaching the end of the cycle, bring our entire team up. Mydei does actually have an enhanced skill coming up soon as well, which is nice because we do have all of our buffs up here. Okay, now once again into 4 targets. Luckily the secondary boss did go down, so now it's only the Trusting and his summons. 527k there, and then they will deal some nice extra damage to the Trusting himself. Perfect. About 70k to the Trusting, which, you know, decent damage contribution. And then of course you do have, I'm pretty sure it's a defense decrease. Okay, Mydei enhanced skill for 400,000, definitely will take that. 200,000 there as well. So then if we add in the damage from the ult, that is basically 800k Mydei did in that rotation. So you know what, I do not mind. We do get to use our skill once again on our Hyacine, generate some more new buds, and then skill there as well. So there we go, we already have another Neverwing up, very nice. And now let's just summon him in. I think we should be able to clear in 27 cycles here if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, okay, 9%, 5%. We can, actually no, I could have skilled there, I think. Actually it doesn't really matter, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, if we ult here, okay, Tribbie goes 33k. Ika goes 396k, and then Mydei goes dealing 111k and taking out the boss. So there we go, only took us 3 cycles, and now we get to go ahead and use our PHAINON as well. Okay, so it turns out my Bronya was on the wrong build, so I just went ahead, restarted. I just auto-battled the first half, which is why it says 26 cycles instead of 27. But oh well, who really cares? We already saw us get that 27 cycle clear. The most important part here is that we get to play our PHAINON with finally our supports on the right build. Although luckily that try now did give me a bit of practice on our PHAINON, so I know slightly better what I want to do. So first of all, we're going to ult on our Sunday's turn so that we have better uptime on Sunday's ultimate. Of course, this is only possible thanks to PHAINON's technique, giving our teammates extra energy, which is very nice. So if Sunday gets hit once, then he should get his ult up so we can ult on his turn. 119k there from PHAINON, you know, already some okay damage, but that's not what we're here for. More importantly, we have our Bronya here, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is just use our ultimate, because as soon as we action and advance him, PHAINON will already have all of his buffs ready. So then we skill on our Bronya, skill on our PHAINON, and now we can already go into PHAINON's ultimate and have all of our buffs, because of course in this enhanced state the buff timers on PHAINON do not go down. So as you can see, we have 102 crit rate, 423 crit damage, we have like 5.8k attack. You know, we get the speed boost from Bronya E2, which allows us to use attack boots as well. It's just really nice. We get an insane amount of crit buffs. Now, of course, the fun part about FAINON's gameplay is that, you know, you have quite a few choices to make because he's the first unit with like 3 skills in their enhanced state. I think I'm gonna go for the enhance here just because we are into 5 targets, so I feel like we can get hit a lot and probably be able to do a lot more AoE damage, which should be able to clear out the smaller mobs so that when we use our bounce skill, it should focus mainly into the big bosses. So there we go, 725k there, although that doesn't take out as many enemies as I was hoping. Okay, so maybe I did waste a turn there, but on our hints in our big skill, we did deal over nearly 900k there, 220k there on our Q. Okay, and we get hit a lot more, though luckily we will be healing all of this back up. So then let's just use our skill once again, and we deal nearly 800k this time. This guy was left on just enough HP, so unfortunately we don't have to basic attack him here, but that's fine. HOOLAY has already spawned in here. Luckily we do get one more turn to basically deal a bit of extra damage, but now the big thing of course is we get to use our skill again into only 2 targets this time, and that's 700k there. And then we will also do our big attack here, which I'm pretty sure is an AoE attack, although I'm not too certain. Okay, 554k there, very nice, and we are back. We are now in the 25th cycle. Of course, once again we did start from 26, so that basically took 1 cycle, I'm pretty sure. Now the reason why I'm using Aventurine here is because HOOLAY is a massive pain. He attacks so much that of course FAINON's premium team is sustainless. However, because this is an E0S0 PHAINON, he doesn't kill stuff strong enough, so we do kind of need to use a sustain when it comes to HOOLAY, which is why I'm not sure if E0S0 PHAINON without, of course when Tribbie releases, everyone's saying that she's going to be best in slot support for FAINON, which, knowing the way that Star Rail works, that's probably going to be true. Okay, anyway, I think we probably need to refresh our Bronya ultimate here as well to make sure we have it when we are in FAINON's ultimate state as well. And now we can pop the ultimate before the 25th cycle finishes, but even then I think we're going to tick over into the 24th anyway. Let's see. Okay, now we get 1 turn in the 25th in order to rain down hell on HOOLAY and HOOLAY alone, dealing about 700k. So we're hitting about 700 to 900k here, sustainless. Of course, the attack boots are helping, which is only possible thanks to E2 Bronya. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know whether Tribbie will be like a 3rd slot support or replacing Bronya. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I feel like when she releases, that's when FAINON will like 100% be a top 3 DPS in the game. Although right now, he might just about be top 3, although I don't think he's better than the Herta or Hyacine yet, because they already have their full premium team comp. So I do feel like you will need to wait for FAINON to get his full premium team comp before you put him on the same level as them. But even then, he's still hitting 700 to 900k, so I still definitely think he is above the top 3. Let's see. Okay, we are now gonna tick over into the 23rd cycle. Although I think if we get one more basic attack off here, only 24% HP left. If we go ahead and pop our skill, this might actually take HOOLAY out already. And yep, 746k, and that did over a quarter of his health bar. Okay, so we managed to get a free cycle on our FAINON already. That was a very quick run. Since, you know, FAINON just gets rid of all of his teammates, he's able to clear pretty damn quickly. So yeah, as I was saying, E0S0 PHAINON, even with a sustain, managed to free cycle, which is actually very impressive. Like I said, against HOOLAY, I'd probably recommend using a sustain if you're playing E0S0, although maybe some of you know some stuff that I don't. Of course, I did try out some of his teams with like RMC and Robin. I felt like RMC kept messing up his rotations with Sunday Bronya, especially the speed tuning I have from the E2 Bronya, so I did not enjoy using RMC. And then Robin, Jiacho didn't really work. Then I tried Robin, and I think Robin probably worked the best. She did give us the best damage amp. We were able to hit over 1 million on some of our big skills. However, like I said, up against HOOLAY, I just found that our allies kept on dying, which is why I went for the Aventurine sustain, and even with a sustain, we managed to 23 cycle. I actually think Fuxuan would also be a decent sustain, especially if you have E1 Fuxuan, which will give you a few extra crit damage stats, as well as the crit rate that she gives you at E0. So I do actually think Fuxuan would be a decent option. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the matter. E0S0 PHAINON, pretty damn good, although wouldn't say he's the best DPS in the game quite yet, but he might well end up being once he gets his best in slot team. But anyway, with that being said, we managed to get a free cycle, and now it's time to move on to the character build, some final thoughts, as well as the outro. Alright, well then, as you can see, both our Mydei team as well as the final side were able to clear in about 3 cycles, which, you know what, is very impressive for the both of them, especially PHAINON because he is running Sustainless. So, you know, I definitely do think PHAINON is a top 3 DPS in the game. He's worth it even at E0S0. You know, I will hear, there will be a lot of people saying, oh, you need his S1 or his E1. I don't think that's true. I think he's perfectly functional even at E0S0, and we were able to clear here even using a sustain. If we went sustainless, we'd be able to clear it even faster, although the comfort would be slightly worse. If you do want to reliably run sustainless, then you probably do need to invest in an S1 so that he can actually kill things faster before the enemies kill you, because of course your team's HP will be getting whittled down quite a bit. So, you know, if you do want to reliably run sustainless, then some vertical investment would probably be useful, but without that, I do think just E0S0 PHAINON will be fine. Right now you can use the sustain, and then later in the future I think sustainless will be better once Ceridra releases, or maybe not, I'm not too sure, but like I said, when he gets his premium team, then he will probably be even better than he currently is, although right now I'd say he's minimum a top 3 DPS in the game. Like I said, E0S0, maybe not quite top 1, but like I said, minimum top 3. So is he worth it? Yes. So, you know, if you like him, then don't feel bad about pulling him. He will be worth it. When it comes to our builds, real quick, starting off with our Castorice half, 58 crit, 188 crit damage, 87 speed, so we do get the poet set. Oh, we were actually on the wrong Lycon. I normally use Himiko's Lycon because it has higher base HP than Secret Vow, so actually we probably could have improved our performance a bit in that run. Don't know why Jingle Yu has it right now. It was Mini Herta earlier. Don't know how that stuff got mixed up. Anyway, so yeah, she was on a slightly wrong Lycon, so we could actually probably have cleared a bit faster. Anyway, Trace is maxed out other than the basic attack, double crit, crit damage, and then crit damage, crit rate, as well as double crit, crit rate, and double crit on the bone set and poet set respectively. Then when it comes to our Tribbie, 88 speed, 54 crit rate, of course plus 80 from poet, 164 gets buffed from the bone set as well. Light cone, S5, dance, of course. Trace is fully maxed out other than the basic attack, double crit, crit damage, as well as HP with crit rate, and then once again crit rate and ERR, and then of course E0 as well. When it comes to our Mydei, 135 speed, 37.6 crit rate, of course he does buff his own crit rate by about 48%, 168 crit damage, we'll get more from the bone set as well. Secret Vow S5, Traces maxed out, other than the basic attack, again on the Scholar set, speed, crit damage, HP body with crit rate, speed double crit, HP speed crit damage, and then HP and then double crit once again. When it comes to our Eidolons, once again E0, and then when it comes to our Hyacine, wherever she is, 5.1k HP, 201 speed on a little bit of crit damage, but not that much, so her personal damage definitely could improve. S5 of the Hertastore Light Cone Traces, maxed out, other than a bit of Effect Res and the basic attack. Relics, 2p speed, because I unfortunately still don't have a good Warrior Goddess set, so, you know, we are just picking up as much speed, crit damage, and HP, as well as outgoing healing bonus, main stat. And then we do actually have a Giant Tree Plenilunament set, which is nice because it will increase our outgoing healing as well as our speed. Very useful on an ERR rope, which is pretty insane as well. And then finally, when it comes to our PHAINON side, this is our PHAINON out of battle. Of course, you did see his stats in battle, so I don't want to spend too much time on those. Light Cones S5 on the Fall of an Eon, Traces fully maxed out, and then double crit here, although admittedly it didn't roll the best since there's a lot of crit damage. Speed and double crit, this piece is pretty damn nice. Unfortunately, this crit rate body is horrible, but it's the only crit rate body I have, and we do want to hit 100% crit rate. Like I said, attack boots with crit damage, because we don't need speed since we do have an E2 Bronya. If you don't have an E2 Bronya, then I would recommend speed boots, so that you can go like 136 plus speed PHAINON, 135 plus speed Sunday, and then 134 speed Bronya. You want Bronya going last because her turns only last, because her buffs only last 1 turn unless you have E6. So in that situation, you do want to be ulting on your PHAINON as soon as you have done all of, as soon as he's got, make sure he goes after Bronya. But and also if you're playing E2 Bronya, you also need to make sure he goes after Bronya again, so that you do get the speed boost. Anyway, for the relic set, I haven't found anyone yet, so it is Ruthless Arena. Speed, double crit on physical damage, and then speed, double crit on attack. Luckily, this Plenilunament set has been out for a while, so we do actually have decent pieces, E0 as well. For our Bronya, 134 speed, 191 crit damage, 129 ERR, because we do have her signature light cone as well as Traces maxed out, as well as relics on the Sacrados set, of course. And then we do have Unbroken Keel, although you could also swap to Lose Shark, would also be a decent option. Eidolons E2 for Sunday, 135 speed, 240 crit damage with 134 ERR. Also on a Bronya light cone, and then Traces maxed out on the basic, 4-piece Sacrados once again for the extra crit damage, as well as on Penacony so that he gets the 5% energy regenerate I would run him on Lusaka, but this has basically the perfect speed tuning, so and then it's also useful for our Mydei, so since we don't have artifact loadouts yet, I am just keeping that, and then also E0. And then finally, for our Aventurine, 155 speed, 4.1k defense, you know, a little bit of extra stats here as well. Day 1 of my new life, S2, would be nice to have the Spotlight combo. Unfortunately, I still don't have it after over 2 years of playing. And then also on the 4-piece Knight set, full defense other than speed boots, and then broken keel once again, both on defense, and then Eidolon's E0. So yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, PHAINON is a very solid DPS. I don't think you'll regret pulling him. But yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoy, and see ya.